Hi, thank you for visiting Trinice's Corner. This is Trinice. I am a DEI, so Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion consultant. I consult both individual and corporation around DEI strategies and, of course, long term sustainable plans. I also work with individual clients specifically around career development and career coaching. That could look like optimizing your resume or CV, rebranding yourself on different social media platforms, whatever they may be. Everything that I do is based on a very bespoke, a very tailored approach. Every individual is different, every corporation is different, every culture within these are also different. And there are a lot of complexities around this. And so that's really the strength of my consulting firm, the virtual coffee, and that's what I absolutely love to do. Well, in today's discussion, it's a continuation within the series of being laid off. Today, I want to really address a topic that is never talked about. And what I would like to do is for us to start thinking about these ideas. I'm not going to provide any solutions or problem solve. I think we first need to really start thinking about what the situation is in the first place. I'm going to pose a few questions to start having conversations within ourselves and with others about the topic. And that is the impact of layoffs on the individuals who remain in the organization. This group is often ignored, a sense of, oh, they were just lucky, or they did something that kept them there. There's always a negative connotation surrounding individuals who remain. And honestly, I think we need to understand the environment that the layoffs create with those that were not laid off. The reality of the environment that has been created for individuals who remain can be an environment of trauma. Individuals now live a sense of fear, a sense of displacement themselves, a sense that they could be next on the next Monday morning. Every day they come to work, they're on a heightened alert. They're on emotional roller coaster. Every time their boss calls their name or sends them an email, there is a sense of fear and terror, and that they could very well be next on the chopping block. Being in that state of constant stress can be exhausting. What we don't think about is the immense guilt and the survivor remorse that remained with individuals who did not get laid off. Think about the impact of that environment now. Think about the culture. Think about the psychological safety or lack thereof that are currently existent in that culture. These might have been individuals who they considered an extension of their family. These were their rocks at work. These were their teammates, their partners in crime, individuals who they leaned on, who they talked to. When they couldn't talk to their bosses, the person next door was it. And they helped them through their struggles, both professionally and personal. Those individuals have been severed. There is a loss that's taken place. A loss that we typically ignore because we think that the ones who remain are in a better spot than those who have been let go. That may not always be the truth. There is a sense of loss that takes place within the individuals who's been laid off. But there's also an immense sense of loss for those who remain as well. The sense of psychological safety, and by the way, companies still have an expectation that there is psychological safety that remains in a corporation when there's a layoff, or they still have the sense of business as usual, that they have an open door policy and that these individuals, these employees can just come in anytime. We'll help you through it. If there are any questions or if there are any shortfalls or you need help with any skills gap, we can take care of it, work through it. What they don't realize is that employees who remain will do nothing of the sort. There is a sense of, if I tell you that I am lacking in an area or I'm struggling in an area, you'll just cut me. How can you bring your full selves to work when the individuals that you've been working alongside for some time also did the same thing, but yet they were laid off? They were let go. Your employees, and this is to the corporations, your employees no longer feel a sense of psychological safety, if they ever did. They no longer feel a sense of safety at all. The emotions that they're feeling now are of immense guilt, trauma. They feel afraid to share their shortfalls because they do not want to end up where their colleagues ended up. They now have to do a lot more with a lot less. And there's a lot of anxiety and stress that you've now created within that environment. The sooner you're able to not just address this, but actually help your employees through this emotional crisis, the better it will be for that employee and for your organization. Because of that, you get the worst of individuals. And what I mean the worst, I mean that there's heightened sense of creativity and the thought of sharing ideas and creating this culture, an environment of innovation. That is all on hold. Individuals who are under this heightened level of traumatic stress will not be creative. They will not share their great ideas. They will not give room to actually have a clear thought. And so you really don't get the best of individuals who remain. What you get is a sense of self-preservation and a heightened sense of not only will I be next, but now I need to look for an alternative. I need to have a backup plan. Got to have a plan A and a plan B, right? I need to make sure that I am posturing myself just in case this company cuts me next. Because this new environment has been created for these individuals who remain, what you find is there is no psychological safety. That culture that might have been once flourishing has now diminished, and everyone is out for themselves. The question I have is, can a company do mass layoffs in an ethical and moral way? We haven't seen it done very often. I get it. But can it be done? What does that look like? After a mass layoff, can we trust that company again? Do they ever recover in the public eye, in our social media world? Is there room for them to recover? And yes, this is even after they've recovered financially. They've now opened up the reins to do, mass hiring, and they've got strategies and DEI plans around that. And, they're excited about the future, and they've regained market shares within their global footprint. After all of that, yes, can we trust them again? What would that look like? What would it take to actually trust these corporations again? What would it take for their employees who remain to trust them again? Despite what most organizations believe, that sense of trust is almost impossible to regain. This video is not about problem solving or providing strategies to solve for these issues. It really is for us to just start thinking about the emotional damage that has been done to both sides, not just the employees that have been laid off, but the ones who remain behind. Support has to be given to both. And I think it's important for us to start thinking about both elements. Once again, thank you for visiting Trinisa's Corner. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time. Hello, welcome to Trinisa's Corner. Here I normally discuss it. No, trying to do an intro. I thought you were on the phone. He's making noise. This is what happens when your husband come home from golfing. He turns on everything in the house and makes a lot of noise. I'll just wait until he's done.